YouTube. Today I want to talk about the idea that all vegans are brainwashed. This could be a bit of a rant video, I'm just warning you. Okay. So, you know those annoying non-vegans who are like, oh, you're brainwashed when you say you're vegan, or when they ask what's wrong with eggs and you say male chicks are ground up alive. They say you're brainwashed because they don't want to believe that that happens. You know, I mean, if you say you're vegan and they're against veganism, they're going to call you brainwashed. If they say you're vegan, ask why, you say because I care about the animals, they're going to say you're brainwashed. They're going to say no animals are harmed by making cheese or milk or eggs. I wish no animals were harmed making cheese or milk or eggs, but unfortunately, the way we produce these, and due to the high demand for these products, animals are harmed. I mean, think about it. Think about it logically. A cow gets pregnant. A cow cannot produce milk without getting pregnant. So what do you think has to happen for the cow to produce the milk that goes on into our supermarkets? I mean, please. I think, you know, these non-vegans who say these things are brainwashed themselves, because we are taught that meat is normal, natural, and necessary from birth, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So, because they believe meat is normal, natural, and necessary, they throw out things like vegans are brainwashed, or deny what is happening in the real world when we tell them the truth because they asked for the truth. You know, if you're gonna say what is wrong with eggs, oh, why can't you eat eggs, why can't you eat dairy, why can't you just be a vegetarian, I'm gonna bloody well go out there and fully tell you why I am not just a vegetarian and why I don't eat those things, because I think it is important for everyone to know the truth, and I would like to not be called brainwashed when I tell you these things. I would like to not be called brainwashed just for saying the word vegan. Like, you know, because veganism is so extreme, I must be brainwashed to not eat cheesy pizza. Like, no other explanation out there, is there? No. Apparently, to some people, there isn't. I mean, us vegans aren't brainwashed, and yes, there are some brainwashed vegans out there, you know, in the raw till 4 community. I would say there are quite a few brainwashed vegans, but the majority of vegans are not brainwashed. The majority of vegans are able to think objectively and have decided that it is not moral to eat animals or their byproducts, or to use animals or their byproducts for clothing, makeup, or any other thing as far as is practicable and possible. Veganism is about making a compassionate decision. It's not about being brainwashed and joining some vegan cult. And I know there's cultish acting vegans, and it doesn't help promote a good message for veganism. It really doesn't help, because there's people thinking even more, like when they hear about Free the Banana Girl, or when they watch that documentary on BBC Three about clean eating, that veganism is some sort of restrictive cult diet thing and everyone who's vegan must be brainwashed and it's not at all healthy. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, I'm so angry that I'm banging my radiator here. It couldn't be further from the truth that vegans are brainwashed. Most vegans can think objectively, like I can. Most vegans, you know, think about going vegan before they go vegan. They're not just suddenly like, hey, do you know what? I really fancy giving veganism a go because Freely said it would work and help me lose weight, and I'm going to bow down to Freely. Most vegans don't go bow down to Freely and listen to every word that she says, and maybe they do at some point in their vegan journey, but eventually they, you know, learn to think for themselves. If you're brainwashed, you're kind of incapable of thinking for yourself and you just listen to what other people say. And I don't believe everything I see on TV or on the internet. It's just that the things I have seen about animal rights, they make logical sense. I mean, what do you think happens with all the male chicks? Really? What do you think happens to them? If someone wants to give me a viable answer that doesn't include being ground up alive, being left to suffocate, or being frozen, please tell me. If you work in a chicken factory, tell me what happens to those male chicks. In the comments, tell me, and maybe show me a video to prove that these male chicks are really well cared for and loved. Then, you know, maybe I might eat eggs one day. But, you know, I doubt that's going to happen. And either way, you know, you still have the whole free range egg thing to get over. Like, please, tell me it's not just a bigger cage. If you can prove to me that your eggs do not come from chickens in a bigger cage, so they are free range, then fine, I'll eat eggs. But I don't have that proof yet, and in all honesty, most people can't afford the most ethical type of egg, dairy, there's no such thing as ethical meat out there. So I think it's better to be vegan, right? Like, even if we were brainwashed as vegans, at least we're not harming any animals. I mean, I don't see why we have to be called brainwashed all the time. Like, because it's ridiculous. Because you're the brainwashed one if you're still eating meat, dairy and eggs and telling yourself those lies and refusing to watch the documentaries that we suggest to you. And I have no problem with people not being vegan. I have a problem with people not being educated about veganism. Like, if you're educated and you decide not to be vegan after the education, then fine, at least you know the truth. At least the truth's not been hidden from you anymore and you've made an educated decision. I'm fine with that. If that works, fine with you. If that sits with you, great. I mean, it's not the conclusion I would come to after watching all the documentaries, but if that's the conclusion you come to, then do as you please. I just want everyone to be educated and to want to be educated and not to feel like, oh, I don't need to watch Cowspiracy because it's just a load of bullcrap. Watch the documentaries or be open to watching the documentaries and information about veganism instead of calling me brainwashed. Your time could be better spent actually educating yourself and realising that maybe you're the brainwashed one. Like, watch the psychology of eating meat because that really explains it, I think, really quite well. And that was actually like the trigger point to me going completely vegan. So yeah, I'll put the link down in the description if anyone wants to give that a watch, because I think it's definitely well worth a watch. And I'll see you in my next video. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and follow me on all my other social medias. Links will be down in the description.